Welcome back, everyone. I'm joined with Daniel Bertu from AC Shares, which, Daniel, tell everybody what AC Shares does.
AC Shares is, we started as a management company.
Okay.
We do Part 91 management, which we still do.
Okay.
We have 5 airplanes in there. We have a Global 6000, we have a Global Express, 2 Falcon 7X,
Oh, nice.
and a Hawker 800 XP.
Okay.
So
busy.
so it's busy. It's busy. And then that kind of developed into selling parts.
Okay.
And that came about because we were having tremendous problems at the time. That was back in 2017. We used to manage 5 Citation 650s, and the 650s is terrible, the parts availability. So we ended up buying one of our clients' airplane that they had an issue with corrosion,
Okay.
but we were able to save it with the insurance company and all that, so we ended up buying the airplane. And that was the first airplane that we potted out. So we started potting out airplanes in 2017, and we've been doing that since then. And so far, we have done 35 airplanes.
Okay. So that's full dismantle, save what parts can
Yeah,
be saved.
yeah, it is a very complex business. But and on top of that, obviously, we do aircraft sales, basically business jets. We don't do turboprops, we don't do pistons. I mean, very rarely we do any of that. But we basically do business jets that mostly comes from our clients or friends of our clients and the management side. So we're able to, sell quite a few airplanes a year.
And you got started literally in the room that we're actually recording
That's
in
right.
now, correct?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Obviously, XO4 is a pretty welcoming airport for, established businesses, new businesses, and everything in between, right?
It is a great airport. It is a great airport. It is very quiet. It let us do our thing. Everybody's nice. It's a nice facility. Plus, you get to own your hangar, and you own the land, and you own part of the airport. So, it's a great community, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about the robot, because obviously I've been into the facility, and you've got that beautiful parts dispenser robot that does everything. I'm like, that's absolutely
That is
amazing.
called vertical storage machine.
Okay.
Basically has 52 trays.
Okay.
And they're about, I will say, like 15 foot by 3 foot deep, and it stacks them up. So what we did is we had a 50 by 50 hangar where we used to store all the parts, and we were able to clean up the whole room and now have it basically on a 17 by 12 area, but it goes 22 foot high.
Yeah.
So it is a great space saver. It takes a lot of work to put it on each one of the trays because you have to locate the part that you're putting on the tray. You have to map it so that the computer tells you when you pull it up by part number that it comes right back down.
Kind of
and it tells you exactly where the part is.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a vertically integrated inventory system.
It is. Okay. It is not. We haven't been able to fully integrate it with our inventory system. We only call it a location, and then you go to the machine and pull up the whatever part.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you've got 4 or 5 hangars now then?
We have 5 hangars.
5 hangars, right. And
we own 4 and we rent 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So inside of that, when you're breaking down the planes, obviously get as many parts as you can. Do you do anything with like the plane tags that people are now getting into, where they basically have the skin cut into a plane tag? Or do you sell it to any of those guys?
No. Actually, the actual plane tag with the serial number and all that goes back to the FAA.
Okay.
So that we had to remove it off the airplane just to make sure that they understand that the airplane has been potted out.
Okay.
And we deregister the airplane and do all the process with the FAA to do that, to be able to do that. Yeah.
And then engines-wise, are those up for possibly being overhauled, or where does that side of things go?
So I explain you a little bit. So we buy airplanes. We try normally to buy airplanes that are in a flyable condition, but they have some kind of major problem. So normally airplanes that have corrosion, for example, or are up for a big inspection, and maybe the value of the airplane is not worth to putting all that money into it, but the airplane is still fly. We do this for several reasons. Why? One is that once you get the airplane and it's an airplane that is flying, you can test most of the equipment that is in the airplane. You can test it before you buy it.
Okay.
So you know what works, what doesn't work.
Right.
Then transponder number 2 doesn't work. Well, then we don't sell that.
Right.
We discard it right away. And then the other reason is because airplanes that have been, when we remove the parts out of an airplane, we have to certify that the part hasn't been involved in any kind of accident. It hasn't been subject to stress or heat or, a big G forces, or has been submerged in water and things like that. That it doesn't come from a military airplane. We have certain things that we need to certify, and once we buy an airplane that flies and we know what it is and where it comes from and everything else, then we can assure our clients that what they're getting is a part that it was working on the airplane.
Right.
So we try to minimize the returns on parts that don't work.
Okay. Do you do inspections in-house, or do you get them sent out? How does that work?
We normally send them out.
Okay.
And it's been terrible. I tell you something, sending anything out nowadays, I don't know what happened. I mean, a few years back, you used to send something to a parts manufacturer, and you were able to pay an AOG fee and an expedite fee and get it within 2-3 days. Now, just for a bank check, it can take you months.
Wow. So are you looking at trying to do something more where you've got it in-house and trying to speed that process up?
Yeah, we're actually going through the process to become a 145 so that we can certify our own parts.
Oh, awesome.
So we'll see.
At that point, is it like X-raying the parts? And
it depends. It depends on the kind of parts. Parts that are structural and things like that, then it has certain inspection criteria that are in the manual for the airplane or for the part. So, for example, I don't know, flight control. You have to visually inspect it. Then you have like the hinges that you have to NDT and things like that. It depends on whatever the manual calls for that. And avionics is normally pretty complex if you're not able to test it in the airplane.
Okay.
The way you test a part in the airplane is the same way you test a part when you buy a part and want to install it in the airplane.
Okay.
So there is a procedure in the aircraft maintenance manual that it tells you what to do. So once you go through that process, but that airplane needs to be able to test that part.
Right.
And that's also part of the reason why we buy flying airplanes.
Right. Yeah, I guess.
So if you go through your process for you install an FMS on an airplane, and you go through the process, the installation instructions that are on your manual, then you can install it and test it in the airplane. But if you already disassembled the airplane and you can't put power on the airplane anymore, then it's going to be very difficult to do.
Right.
To accomplish. Yeah. So it is a complex business, that's for sure. But it's been good. It's been very interesting. It has allowed us to create great relationships with even the manufacturer of the airplanes or manufacturer of the parts. Sometimes we help to sell them back parts that they need to get them fixed, recertify, and sell them on their own.
Right.
So it's a matter of kind of a recycling kind of thing. It's just that since COVID to now, business aviation has boomed like crazy.
Yeah.
And the demand for parts is been increasing quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, Adam and I were just talking about it with a lot of different bits and pieces, and parts can be a struggle to say the least at times.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So do you mainly just have all AMP IAs that work for you?
We have an IA.
Only?
We have an IA. We have 2 AMPs, 3 AMPs, sorry. And we have some people that doesn't have AMPs, but they either have experience in aviation and want to get their AMPs. So they help the AMPs accomplish the work. But every part comes out with a certificate of conformity that is signed by AMP with their license on it.
Okay.
And everything else. And we give full traceability of every part that we sell.
Yeah.
So we don't broker parts. We don't, if we get a request and we don't have it because we don't own it, we don't go out to the market to get it, unless somebody that we know that is a friend of ours and say, hey, please help me locate this part. But most of the time, if we don't have it, we just say we don't have it. It's not available.
Right.
Just because we don't like to buy parts from somebody else and you don't know what the history on the part is. It's very important. I think to give that sense of confidence to our clients that anything that we sell you is because we own it. And we know where it comes from. We know the history on the airplane and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes
So
sense.
It is interesting.
Yeah, being able to track the origin is pretty important. So,
Yeah.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So, how, if anybody is looking for a particular part inside the US or anywhere else in the world, how can they get in touch with AC Shares?
Well, the easiest way is to write us an email, parts@acshares.com.
Okay.
You can send it there. We are also on ILS. We're on Parts Base.
Okay.
You can visit our website, acshares.com.
Okay.
Very simple. And you'll find the phone numbers and everything there. We're a little bit on the social media too. Don't know, but basically look it up for AC Shares. AC Shares is a name that doesn't,
Yeah, it's not going to come out.
It's not going to come out too often. Yeah.
Okay. Well, great.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you very much for coming on.
I appreciate it.
Is there anything else that you want to add in?
Well, I think aviation nowadays is going through a sense of transformation a little bit. I want to encourage everybody that kind of in this aviation world to try to get started in aviation. I think it's a great for the future. I mean, we always talked about AI and all the new technologies. All that technology, what it's going to do is to make aviation safer and bigger. So I would like to encourage everybody that wants to explore aviation to really go into it. And, there's so many fields in aviation that are so interesting. I mean, from becoming a pilot to a flight instructor to a mechanic, there is so much in production and research and development that is a very interesting industry, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you very much, Daniel.
I appreciate the opportunity.
it.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll get you back in again, or maybe get Lewis in, and we can
Absolutely.
do a more of a Spanish language episode
Absolutely,
as well.
anytime.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Take care and stay safe, everyone.